Good morning. I've been watching a lot of comedians in cars getting coffee and feeling pretty excited about comedy and jokes. In fact, I was thinking it might be a good idea to just start talking about the sitcom and trying to figure it out by talking about it. So, I think one of the biggest things that is going to happen in this show, in this series, is that everybody being from different backgrounds will have something different to bring to the table. And I mean that quite literally because they will all meet once during the episode for their family therapy, which will be sitting around the table or even at a rectangular shaped table to eat. And each of them will bring some food. So, the Lebanese guy will bring his famous garlic. The Irish Catholic lady will bring her potatoes. The traditionally Latina woman will bring her chicken tacos. The vegan will bring his quinoa salad. So you have all these different flavors, and quite literally different flavors, but I think one of the things that makes that interesting is that people can relate to food, and I always talk about that. I always talk about food like there's some sort of easy segue into talking about food pretty much no matter what you have for lunch, how was your breakfast, things like that. And I think that comes from being someone who has had so many different kinds of jobs and met so many different kinds of people, which have included and are not limited to food service jobs. But anyway, it's just a lot of work to be fishing for subjects. And so not only does food become really easy, it also becomes a regular part of conversation. And I feel like coffee is a really great conversation starter too. Do you drink coffee in the morning, or how's your coffee? How is your coffee? So I really like that piece of Jerry's show, is that he talks about the coffee. They don't dive into it, but they definitely, I just watched the one where he's with Fred in Portland, and it's a coffee town. They talk about the coffee, but they don't dive into it. So I like that piece, but it adds a layer to the show. I think too, though, that having been a coffee shop owner, we can really relate to our audience by talking about what that means about a person, what kind of coffee they're buying or what kind of coffee they drink. So it was in the late 90s that we opened the coffee shop, and we talked about you want a large dark roast coffee. You're a simple man. Few words. You want a small, strong, double espresso, lots of foam, lots of sugar. Ooh, you need your caffeine, you have a busy day, and you like it a little sweet. Cool. You like your giant latte with lots and lots of creams and sugars. I think what that is I like a treat. I like to treat myself. I like to kick back. I like to have something fun, and I need something to get me through the day. So I like that. I like that you can really tell a lot about a person by the coffee that they drink or the coffee that they order. So, adding that element into the conversation. So, along with having a show that is riddled with diversity, has plenty of content that gives you something to sink your teeth into because it's relatable. And then I believe that our sitcom, will teach people things. And what I mean by that is teach people about coffee, food, diversity, conversation, and love. What is family anyway? We talk about that because the people who are introduced in this series may be someone that you met at a group. Or, oh yeah, where was that we met 20 years ago? It doesn't matter anymore because we're family. And then also, I think what I'm forgetting is that this is a West Side Story. And I met a guy at the church the other day, and he said that he's got a series of photographs on a website. They're photographs of paintings that he participated in, and they're called West Side Stories. So the west side of St. Paul has always been traditionally a very diverse neighborhood. But when you add the element of the neighborhood to a story, to a sitcom, to a family, it gives you, again, a layer of substance, and definitely something to sink your teeth into. So my hope is that even though I'm just writing a story, just telling about my experience, I'm still giving a lot of I'm still teaching someone. I'm still teaching something. And when I think of millennials, I think of their sort of lack of conversation style, or lack of, I don't want to say personality because that's not nice, but lack of substance. So if we can, in this series, teach people how to make conversation, how to talk about their neighborhood, how to talk about commonalities, coffee, food, relationships, family. I'm hoping that's gonna come across well and be received as, yeah, I like this show. So, sorry to just dive right into it and not even talk about what I was gonna talk about, but I think I need to make a video series as though it's a diary to, to really get out my thoughts about this show. So, if you're interested in this content and it sounds like something you could contribute or find a joke that you could add into the conversation, that might be kind of fun. But I'm still working out my characters because they're all really great. Still working out my major concepts, which are outlined in one of my previous videos, but it'll be easier to understand very soon because I'll have a more concise amount of stuff to talk about. So, anyway, hope you have a great day.